Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, Heartflowers? I am your girl, Delana Jones, and this is your Heartflow moment. Yes, this is Heartflow. I just wanted to come on here real quick and talk to you all because something happened to me on when I was in the airport on the way back home last week on Sunday. And it really intrigued me because for the first time I really paid attention, and there was this hologram of a gun that was floating in the air. There's a hologram, and the universal sign for no, which is like the circle with the line in it, that came across this little gun that's floating in the air. And I was like, man, I was so intrigued by it. I took a picture of it. And then I looked further on and I saw the sign with a whole bunch of things listed, and it said no weapons beyond this point. And I thought about it and I was like, okay, no weapons beyond this point. And I was like, but who's gonna try to run through with a weapon through this point? And I thought about it. I was like, you know what? A lot of people bring weapons, and sometimes we don't even realize we bring weapons. I've had people that say they had their knife in their bag, or they had a mace or whatever it may have been in their bag, and they didn't realize they had packed it, because they may have been in haste packing, or it may have already been in their bag because they traveled somewhere. And I thought about that, and I said, you know what? A lot of times we come through security and we have things in our lives and we don't realize that we're packing weapons. Because it wasn't talking about weapons that were coming from the outside. It was talking about weapons that you may have on your person. Weapons you may have in your bag. Weapons you may have in your pockets. And so I thought about that. And I was like, you know what, Lord? Sometimes we carry a lot of weapons on ourselves. And it may not be a physical weapon, but it may be just a mental weapon that we have when we talk to ourselves crazy. Where we may have unfavorable language that we speak to ourselves with. We may call ourselves stupid and idiot. And there's some things that we have to make sure that we surrender. Some things that we're not going to bring past a certain point. Old speech patterns, your old language, even old friends. There's going to be a new circle that's getting ready to come into your life. And it does not mean there's anything wrong with the friends that you have right now, but you have to make sure that where you're getting ready to go, that the friends that you have are aligned with the mission and with the purpose that you're getting ready to go into. Because you might be friends, but you may not be as close as you used to be with that person. You know what I'm saying? So, I hope you understand. So first thing that we had to do when you walked in there, it said surrender all your weapons. And the next thing we had to do was you have to subject yourself to a search. You have to subject your things to a search because you put it on this conveyor belt and you send it down and it goes through the x-ray machine, right? And then you have to surrender your own person to a search. And you go through this little machine and the machine circles around you and it's like air that comes through. And then you go to the next side and they tell you either you can go or they tell you to wait. Okay. If you happen to be told to wait, if you look on this little thing, it's going to have like a picture of like a person, a silhouette, and it's going to be things that are lit up. Like things that have been illuminated. Some of them might be yellow, some of them might be red or whatever. And it shows if there's anything on your body that may be metal, or that's something that may be of question. And sometimes we may have thought that we surrendered everything in that first step, but then there's always a secondary check to make sure that you did get rid of everything you're supposed to. And sometimes we may find out that there's an illumination that happens in our heart. And there's something about maybe our heart's posture that may have not been checked yet, that we have to surrender before we get on this flight, because God is getting ready to take us somewhere else. He's getting ready to take us to a greater place. We're getting ready to elevate. We're getting ready to expand. And so we have to make sure that our heart posture is taken care of. So that may have illuminated. So therefore we may have to go and make sure that we check our pride at the door. We may have to go and make sure that we have taken care of any heartbreak or any feelings that we may have for an ex or whatever, because God is getting ready to bring you into new relationships. So those things have to be checked before you can move on to the next level. So now the next thing we do, we already surrendered all our weapons. We've already subject ourselves to a search. The last thing we have to do is learn how to sit down somewhere. Because see, whenever you have a flight, you get like a little itinerary, you get a boarding pass, right? And the boarding pass has on where you are currently, where you're getting ready to go. It has your time that you're going to be able to board, the time that you're leaving, and the time that you're going to land, right? And then it also has the seat that you're going to sit in. And it has the group that you're going to be called in, right? Yeah, I flew on a cheap seat, y'all. And it also tells you whether or not you can have any carry-on luggage with you, right? Some of us are going to have to learn how to pack light. We're going to have to learn how to keep any baggage that we have. Don't bring all that stuff. You don't need it. We're going to have to learn how to downsize a little bit. Okay? You don't need a 4-bedroom home worth of furniture right now when all you have is an apartment. Because you're getting ready to switch some geographical locations, and you may not move directly into a house. You may have to stay in a hotel. You may have to stay in an apartment. You may have to stay with family. And there's some things you're not going to be able to take with you right now. So you're going to have to learn how to pack a little bit lighter than what you would have, and only take the necessities that you need. Okay? You already know where you are currently. More than likely, you've already gotten a glimpse of where you're going. So because of that glimpse, you already have an inkling of where God is taking you. But it's already written out. You may not see the boarding pass, but God sees the boarding pass. He sees the time that you're supposed to be on the flight. He sees the time that the flight is getting ready to take off. And he sees the time that the flight is going to land. Now, that's some information that we may not have. We may not have that information. And so, therefore, it's very important that we've already surrendered those things that we should not take with us. It's very important that we subject ourselves to a heart check. It's important that we subject ourselves to a mental check with God. Because those things will cause you to be delayed. Because you have to sit there and watch them search through your stuff. You have to sit there and allow them to pat you down, make sure you don't have anything. And then if they still have a question about it, they're going to bring you to a little small room and they're going to search you even further. But if you take the time to make sure that you do all your own leg work, then that's something that's not going to slow you down. Because if it just so happened that you are late, if it just so happened that you're running behind, then guess what? It's a possibility that you're not going to catch this flight. You're not going to leave. You're not going to leave. Because if you're not there when the flight takes off and the doors are closed, you're going to miss it. And you're going to have to try to schedule another flight. And hopefully they have one that day. And some of us, the timing is imperative. And if you're not on the flight when you're supposed to be on the flight, then you are going to just miss it completely. You may have to wait years before you get another opportunity like this. So I want to encourage you all that where we're getting ready to go now, God is going to do it. He's going to do it swiftly. So you have 18, so many odd days left in this year. What is it? 20, 21 days left in this year. Handle your business. Do your heart check. Do your mind checks. Do your emotional check. Do your friendship checks. Okay? Because some of you all know you got some toxic people that's around you. Check that now. So that way you don't have to check it when you're in line trying to get where you need to go. There's things that are going to happen. There's things that will happen very, very fast. Something that would normally take you 11 months to get you is going to happen in 3. Something that would take you 2.5 years to get is going to happen in 8 months. Be prepared. Get ready. Surrender your weapons. Subject yourself to a check with God. And when you get there, sit down somewhere and stay alert. Be ready to be called. And if it just so happens you don't hear your number called, don't let that door close without you asking. Do not let that door close without you asking. And if you're the last one, don't worry about it. Because the Bible says that the last should be first. So if you're the last one, it's all right because you're going to be first anyway. So that's all I have for you today. Make sure that you all continue to believe. Don't allow disappointment to overtake you. Don't allow doubt to set into your heart. This is what God has for you. You are getting ready to make some major moves in this life. Movement is getting ready to happen, and you have to be ready to get there. If there are any old insecurities or any thoughts of rejection, anything that happens that tries to reestablish itself, you need to make sure that you check that as well. Because that's already done. That's already gone. It cannot take flight with you this time. So this is Delana Jones. That's all I have for you today. I hope something was said to encourage you as you walk throughout your day, as you walk throughout your life, as you walk throughout this next year. God is getting ready to do something major, and I am excited to see what he's going to do in your life. Once again, I'm Delana Jones, your girl, and this has been your Heartflow moment. I'll see you next time.